Hey guys, I just finished up a training session with our virtual group. Today we were doing competency number 11, which is evaluate your values and integrate them into the DNA of your church. And during that session, one of the planters asked a really good question. He said, Mac, I'm struggling with wording my values. He said, how do you know how to word values? That's a great question because guys struggle with this. So what I told him is basically you have three options when it comes to wording your values. There's not a right way and a wrong way, but there are about three different options. So let me share those with you so that you can pass these along to the guys you're working with. Option number one is the single word option. Okay, this is where the planter chooses one word values. Daniel Floyd is a great example of that. The values at Life Point Church are passion, honor, and generosity. Very clean, very easy. Okay, so here's the upside of the single word option. The upside is it's easy to remember. Very easy to remember those single words. Now the downside is you have to be more descriptive to help people understand what you mean by those words. So it takes longer and maybe a little more difficult to help them gain an understanding of what you really mean by that particular value. The second option you have is what I call the catchphrase option. In the catchphrase option, it's catchy little phrases. For example, no one walks alone, or some guys use save people, save people. So it's catchy little phrases that guys use. They say this represents our behaviors that we want to see in our church. Now the upside of that is very catchy. I mean those types of values are very catchy. And people can hold on to them real easy. The downside is it's difficult to measure. How do we know we've really accomplished that? How are we seeing that in people's behaviors, in our leaders' behaviors? So that's a little more difficult. And then the third option is actionable statements. Actionable statements. This is what we use at Launch. So we chose 5 actionable statements for our core values. Collaborate for kingdom impact. Build tribes, always be improving, think multiplication, add value to leaders. Those are 5 actionable statements. So the upside is it's clear. It's very clear about what you're trying to accomplish. It's easy to evaluate and it's pretty easy to measure. The downside is it's much more difficult to remember. So again, it takes longer to drive that into your leaders' understanding and into their actual behaviors. So those are the 3 options. How do you know which one to choose? Well, it all depends on the preference of the planter. So don't force them into one or another. It all depends on their preference. So how do they know what their preference is? Asking 2 questions. Question number 1 is, what is most intuitive to me? What's most intuitive to me? Is it the single word? Is it the catchy phrase? Or is it the actionable statements? And then the second question, which will I actually use in my daily language? That's what's most important. Which will I actually use in my daily language? So that's how you choose how to word your values. Hope that's been helpful to you. Thanks.